Have you ever come across someone who appeared genuinely kind, calm, and generous, almost to flawless? They always smiled at the right moments, spoke with perfect composure, never raised their voice, never lost control. And yet, something about them didn't sit right. You couldn't quite explain it, but deep inside, your body sent a quiet warning. Something's off. What if the real danger doesn't lie in people who are openly harsh, angry, or aggressive, but in those who seem to have no flaws at all? Carl Jung, the legendary Swiss psychiatrist who reshaped our understanding of the human mind, believed the most dangerous individuals aren't the ones who reveal their darkness, but the ones who bury it so deep they forget it exists. They may look serene on the outside, but underneath that calm surface, a storm is silently brewing, one they've never had the courage to confront. Before we go any further, if you're someone who finds meaning in the hidden layers of the human mind, consider subscribing to Deep Psyche. This is where we explore the shadows, the patterns, and the buried truths shaping your inner world. To understand Jung's warning, we need to return to one of his most powerful concepts, the persona. The persona is the mask we wear, the version of ourselves we show to the world. It helps us fit in, polite, likable, socially acceptable. But trouble begins when we start believing that this mask is all we are, because behind it lies the unconscious, a vast and tamed landscape. It holds our instincts, suppressed memories, unresolved emotions, and most importantly, the shadow. The shadow contains everything we deny within ourselves: jealousy, anger, selfishness, but also the raw creativity, the animal instinct, and the fierce, unfiltered truth. It doesn't just come from trauma or darkness. It forms in the tension between who we truly are and who we believe we should be. As children, we quickly learn what earns us love and what leads to rejection. So, we adapt. We start shaping ourselves to fit the mold. We push down the parts that seem wrong. Maybe we were told anger is dangerous, so we hide it. Maybe our drive was labeled arrogance, so we suppress it. Maybe our tenderness was mocked, so we build a wall around it. But what we bury doesn't vanish. It waits. And eventually, it begins to speak. Through our dreams, our sudden outbursts, our addictions, our projections, not to destroy us, but to finally be acknowledged. Jung warned us, what you do not make conscious will be lived out as fate. In other words, the less aware you are of your shadow, the more it pulls the strings from the background. Those who never face their inner darkness don't become enlightened. They become ticking time bombs, a danger not just to the world around them, but to themselves. Here's the paradox. The people who believe they're entirely good are often the most dangerous. Why? Because they lack reflection. They never question themselves. They don't carry the humility to ask, what if the problem is me? They disguise control as care. They mask manipulation as protection. They justify cruelty as tough love. And the most unsettling part, they truly believe they're always doing the right thing. But behind that moral shine, a shadow is straining to break through, ready to erupt. The moment you question them, even gently, the cracks begin to show. A sharp remark, a cold silence, subtle punishments, or worse, a passive-aggressive game that leaves you wondering if you're the one losing your mind. They don't explode like obviously toxic people. They erode quietly, gradually, until you start doubting your own reality, suppressing your needs, walking on eggshells to avoid triggering their disapproval. While they keep wearing the perfect mask, you'll hear things like, I'm only telling you this because I care. Everyone says I'm such a nice person. I never get angry. I'm just looking out for you. But deep down, your gut senses the truth. That uneasiness in your body. That's your nervous system picking up on the split between the person they pretend to be and the parts of themselves they've never dared to face. This is where Jung's insight hits the hardest. The real danger isn't the darkness itself. It's in denying that darkness exists. Someone who says, yes, I can be selfish, I can lose my temper, and I'm working on it, is far less threatening than the person who insists, I'm always kind, I never hurt anyone, I'm nothing like those people, because the one who acknowledges their shadow is in dialogue with it, but the one who denies it, they're ruled by it, completely unaware. Jung saw this denial not just as a psychological issue, but as a spiritual blindness, a refusal to look inside, a kind of dangerous innocence. And that innocence doesn't stay harmless, it becomes toxic, not out of choice, but because it's trapped with no way out. All the energy we pour into pushing down our shadow leaks out in other ways, through bitterness, constant dissatisfaction, the need to control, or self-righteousness. So how do you protect yourself? By paying attention to that feeling of unease. Not everyone who's polite is harmless. Not every smile is sincere. Sometimes, the most dangerous people wear kindness like a disguise, because they've never truly faced themselves. Jung challenges us to ask, what am I missing in them? But even more crucial, what am I missing in myself? Because the deeper your understanding of your own shadow, the clearer you see through the masks, the tricks, and the manipulation around you. And once you recognize it, there's no going back. If you've ever felt that uneasy vibe around someone but couldn't quite put your finger on why, know this. You're not imagining things. You're not being paranoid. You're awake. And the truth is, some people may never change. Because to change, they'd have to admit that their perfect image was just a mask. But you have a choice. You can face what they refuse to see. You can meet your own shadow, invite it in, learn from it. Because when you do, you don't become darker. You become whole. And in that wholeness, you become untouchable. Immune to those who haven't yet met their own truth. If this reflection stirred something within you, consider subscribing to Deep Psyche, where we go beyond the surface and explore the depths of the soul. Because truly knowing yourself isn't a luxury, it's your greatest form of protection. And if this video spoke to you, take a moment to hit the like button so that more people can hear what their minds may not fully grasp yet, but their intuition already senses.